Hey everybody! In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my go-to prom and wedding hairstyle. I think it is simple yet elegant. If you want to see how I do this updo, then please just keep watching. To start this updo, the first thing I like to do is curl the hair. I just section 1-inch sections starting at the bottom and clip the rest of the hair up and out of my way. Depending on my client's hair or what they are wanting, I either use a 1-inch curling iron barrel or a 3/4 inch curling iron barrel. For this specific mannequin, I use 3/4 inch because their hair tends to be hard to curl. I start in the mid shaft or toward the top of the hair and begin the curl so the ends do not fall flat. And once I release the curl, you can see that I just like to hold it into place for a few seconds to let it cool so that the curl does not pull down. And I do alternate my curls just so they do not all flow into one big curl at the end. For the hair around the face, I do like the curls to go away. I just think that it is more universally flattering, so that is what I do to my clients. And then I do hairspray each section when I am done curling it, so you see that I do this here in that next clip. That just ensures that as you are curling, you're setting your curls into place. Once I get to the top of the head, I do like to back comb or tease the hair before I curl. I just think it makes it a little bit easier instead of curling and then going through and messing your curls up. So I take about 1-inch sections and begin to tease the hair. The one thing that I have learned about back combing is if you get a good base, you don't have to work as hard to make it stay. So you can see that I just like to take that 1-inch section and tease really close to the scalp, making sure that the back combing is going all the way down to the scalp, and that is just going to ensure that it stays all night and does not fall flat. I see sometimes people beginning their tease at the mid shaft area, and if you are not getting a good base, it will fall flat throughout the night. So just keep that in mind while doing this. Once the back combing is in place, I like to smooth out that top section of hair and then do the exact same thing to the sides. And you can see right here exactly what I mean by getting a good base for your back combing. You just want to make sure to get it really close to the scalp. Once I am done back combing, I like to smooth out the hair and then I can begin to curl that top section. While doing this, I make sure that I am very careful not to tug on the hair too hard because I do not want to pull out any of that work that I just did. And once all of the curls are in place, you can go ahead and finish it off with a hairspray. You can see that I am just putting the curls into place where I want them and smoothing out the very top. This is a good base for any updo, so I'm just showing you guys from all angles what it looks like here. Moving on to the updo portion of this hairstyle, I like to take the section in the front of the hair and brush or comb it out to make sure that there are no tangles for braiding. And then I start at the very top, taking about a 1-inch section and begin to do the Dutch braid. Everybody has a different way of braiding. This is just how I like to do it. I like to start out by doing a regular braid, taking the side pieces under the middle. And once I get to that back, I like to add a little bit of hair into the back section, cross it under the middle, add a little bit of hair from the front section and cross it under the middle, and continue to do that until I get to about the back of the ear. When doing a Dutch or French braid, you want to make sure that the braid is nice and tight. You can always go in at the end to loosen it up. And I also recommend while braiding to try and keep it as close to the scalp as possible, just so the braid stays nice and tight and in place. I do like to leave some hair out around the face to cover up the ear. And then once you get right behind the ear, go ahead and do a regular braid and tie it off with an elastic. To loosen up the braid, I do like to do a few different techniques. You can see here that I am just gently pulling on the hair just to sort of fatten the braid up. And once I get to the bottom, I hold on to that elastic and tug on the very outside of each side of the braid. This technique has become a common one. It is called pancaking. Basically, you are just fattening up the braid to make the hair look thicker. I do this until I am satisfied with how big the braid is. If the hair is layered, just be careful not to pull too much so you don't have any little pokies sticking out throughout the braid. And once I'm satisfied with that, I do like to do a light mist of hairspray just to make sure that all of the flyaways around the braid and face are put into place. And then on the opposite side of the hair, you can see that I am just loosely gathering it, making sure to leave some hair around the face to cover the ear on that side as well. And then I just like to gather it up and bobby pin that into place. As you can see here, I'm showing you the rigid side. I like that side to go against the scalp to really anchor the hair in. If you use the smooth side, the bobby pins will tend to slip out, which you do not want. And I just do this exact same thing to the other side. Just gather up that hair and pin it into place. I do one bobby pin here and then take that braid and bobby pin that right over top of that section. And once the sides are in place, you can go ahead and gather that center part of the hair and bobby pin that down as well. Make sure not to pull too hard to loosen any of that volume in the hair. Obviously, this is not the most attractive way to leave the hair, so what I like to do is take an open bobby pin and swirl the hair around and pin it against the scalp. I just do this technique until I am satisfied with how it looks. I also like to move the hair around with my fingers just to make sure that everything is laying in place. And if you feel that you are losing the curl, you can either go in and twirl it around your finger and that will usually reform the curl. Or you can go in with the curling iron and just redo some of those curls. And instead of just having a ton of hair in the center, I do like to taper some off toward the ear. I think it just gives it a soft and romantic feel. It definitely is more of a tousled look. It is not too put together, but that is what I really like about this hairstyle. And just for extra measure, I do typically like to throw in a few extra bobby pins to make sure that it does not move throughout the night, and then finish it off with a ton of hairspray. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, this is my go-to updo for clients that don't really know what they want or are not too particular with what they want. I think it is just a really soft and romantic feel with the pretty tasseled waves. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you haven't subscribed and want to see more videos from me, don't forget to do that. I hope you guys have an awesome day and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye everybody!